prepared a PPT in that there is also another example, so you will get a better understanding of what I'm talking about the framing. Okay, so framing, I already told you the framing is when you receive a data from the third layer, when you receive a data or anything, the chunks of data to the from the network layer to the data link layer. And the task of this data link layer is to arrange the bits of data into frames. Okay, so by dividing the data into frames, there are many problems that are attached to it, and this particular thing happens at in data link layer. Okay, so frame are the basic unit of data digital transmission, and frames are just like the packets of energy. Okay, so keep in mind, do not call when you are present at a data link layer, you will only call this particular data frame. Do not call it packet. Okay, so packet is a term that is referred in network layer. So it is again the same thing, but at every layer the data is referred to in a different way, in a different what do we call it, in a different form. Okay, so the chunks of data that is referred in data link layer is called a frame, and the chunks of data that is referred in network layer is called packet. So just keep in mind, do not refer to it as a packet. Okay, so now frame is continuously used in time division multiplexing process. Don't worry about it. I will discuss about the multiplexing because you have it in your syllabus. What is time division? What is space division? I'll talk about it. Okay. Another one is framing is a point-to-point connection. Okay. So it is again saying it's a point-to-point connection, because if you're saying I am only talking that the framing will exist in a LAN, because the framing process is done in data link layer. Okay. So that is why if you have seen, I already told you that that the PCs are connected to a LAN. In a LAN, there are various PCs, so that is why it is saying it's a point-to-point connection between two computer devices consist of a wire. Okay, so most probably I'm talking about a wire, because in the previous years, when we used to refer to a LAN, we use something called a wire. Okay, so in most book you will find wire, but the LAN can also exist in a wireless portal. So don't worry about it. So just if you see a wire, you understand it is talking about a LAN. Okay. So now another things like error checking and error correction will also be there. I'll also talk about that. Okay, so this is basics that is related to a framing in data link layer. Okay, so what happens is that there is something called a header. Okay, so header, every packet or every frame has a particular header to it. Okay, so I'll talk about this header in quite detail. So IPv4 is also a header. IPv4, if you think about it, IP protocol contains a various field inside it. Okay, so there are like 12 10 or 10 to 12 fields inside this IPv4. So this is a header. Don't worry about it. Header contain the information like what is the source and what is the destination and all the other thing that I will be discussing in detail. Okay, so now it is just saying that you are getting your from this is third layer, network layer, and in that you will get a header, a trailer. I'll talk about it also, and there is a packet that is also referred to as a data. Okay, so keep in mind this data packet mostly will be referred to as a frame, not a packet, because it is we are receiving this from a network layer. That is why here it is written a packet. But actually, when you are in the data link layer, this particular packet will be referred to as a frame. Okay, so the advantage of using these frames, so what is the advantage of it? If you broken up the piece of communication into various frames, it is very easy for it to become a recoverable. Okay, so the advantage of using frame is that it is broken up into recoverable chunks that can be easily checked for corruption. Okay, so there is a something called a error correction and an error control. So in that particular thing, when you are dividing this into smaller chunks, so the error correction and error control on this particular chunks is very easy to apply rather than on a bigger chunk of communication. Okay, so if you apply the error correction on a bigger frame, it will take a very high amount of time for it to be verified that the divided parts are correct. But if you apply this error correction on a smaller frames, it is very easy, and it takes around very less amount of time to check that the division is okay and we are not messing anything up. Okay, so now see what exactly are the problems in framing. I already told you this one, that how do I detect the start of the frame. Okay, so when a frame is transmitted, you have to say to the station that every station should be able to detect it, but you know that all the stations are uh, already, either they will all be awake, either they will all be sleeping. Okay, so to get rid of it, there is something called the start of the frame delimiter. Okay, so this particular thing will act as a alarm clock for all the stations, and when it is present inside the frame, every station will wake up to see that a particular frame is belonging to them or not. Okay, so they will read the destination part, and they will, if the destination is same as them, they will read the whole contents of the packet. If not, they will just discard the packet, and the packet will reach towards the next station. Okay, so now, how do the station detect a frame? So there was something called a SFD, that when a SFD, start of the frame delimiter, that particular SFD is recognized by a sequential circuit that I already told you. So this sequential circuit alert all the station to wake up because there is a SFD, and again SFD is nothing but pattern of zeros and ones. Okay, so another problem was how to detect the end of the frame. Okay, so when to stop reading. Okay, so that problem, uh, for this problem there is something called, we have introduced two things. Okay, so I'll just go to the next slide. So there this problem exists, that how to know the end of the frame. Okay, so it depends upon the type of framing that you are using. If it is a fixed length framing, then because it is a fixed length, you know the end of the frame automatically. Okay, so if I say that my every frame length is 100 byte, you know, after the 100 byte, after the 100th byte, you will get the end of the frame, because every length of the frame is fixed. So this is 100 byte. So if it is starting from the first one, so you calculate the 100th byte. So at the 100th one, it will be the end of the frame. So it is plain and simple as that. But there is a problem called internal fragmentation, that what happens is that what when you have to divide like 1001. Okay, so for that you have to divide, because it takes 1000, if sorry, it's 101. Okay, so this is, if this is the data you have to transmit, the 101 byte data, you will divide it into two parts. The first part will contain 100 bytes, and the remaining part will contain only one byte. Okay, so that was the problem here, that there is an internal fragmentation. So what how do I solve this? So I introduced a padding. Okay, so padding means that you will add just 99 bit or 99 bytes of useless data, like 00000. That has no value to it, because but I cannot left this as blank, because there is no functionality to keep this particular packet as blank, because we know the length of the frame is fixed here. Okay, so it is solved by padding, but padding is not actually a solution. It is still wasting the resources and time inside a packet or inside a frame. So that is why we move to another solution, that is a variable length size. So variable length size means that if there is a 101 data, you can divide the packet in 100, and the another packet will be one. But in this particular thing, we got a problem here, that how to know the end of the packet. Okay, so the end of the packet, there are two solutions. The first solution is the length field. You can, at the end, when you are preparing a packet, at the end when you are preparing a frame, at the end of the frame, you just introduce another field called a length field. In this length field, you just indicate what is the length, what exactly is the length of the packet. So that seems to be working very fine. It particular thing is used in Ethernet standard 802.3, meaning it is not because if you see, there is also one problem here, that this what happens if this length field becomes corrupted. Okay, so suppose I say that because this is this particular field contains 100 bytes of data, and I explain it that 100 bytes of data it's contained, and when I am communicating with other device, what happens is that this zero got lost on the way. Okay, so with what happens, this particular field now becomes of only of a 10 length field, and this 90 length field, there is no indication of what is the length of this 90 length field, and it will be lost on the way. Okay, so that is the problem. But if you're seeing it, I'm talking it about inside a LAN. So inside a LAN, there are very rare chance that the corruption between devices occur. Okay, so the corruption mostly occurs in the cases when when we have to transport, when you have to transmit a message to a very long distance. Okay, so in a LAN the devices are very near to each other, so it's a very rare occasion that this particular length field will get lost. Okay, so that is why it is used in the standard Ethernet standard 802.3. Okay, so that is fine. Okay, but still the problem exists. So this is a very rare case, but still the problem is there. Okay, the another one is something called the AND delimiter. Okay, so this AND delimiter is right now used, and this is particularly used in token ring. Okay, so I'll talk about this. Is again another standard, but it is different from Ethernet. Ethernet is also used in mostly in cases of LAN. This token ring is also used in the case of LAN, but it's a very efficient method than this particular Ethernet. Okay, so now again the problem with this end of the frame delimiter lies is that what happens is the end delimiter matches with the data. Okay, so how do we solve this problem? It is solved by two particular methods. That is, first is your character, or something it is sometimes it is referred to as a byte stuffing. Okay, so character and byte stuffing. Why it is referred to as a byte stuffing? Because one character is equal to 8 bits. Okay, so that is why it is referred to as a byte stuffing. Okay, so when I'm talking about that, where you have to introduce this, it means you are introducing 8 bits, not only 1 bit. But for this escape character you have to introduce 8 bits, because every character has a 8-bit pattern. Keep that in mind. Okay, so character and byte stuffing. So if you are stuffing means you are adding anything to the frame. It means you are not adding 1 bit, you are adding a character. It means you are adding 1 byte, one particular byte. Okay, so the example for this, suppose the example here is given here. Let ed, the end delimiter, is a dollar. Okay, so I already explained you that previously there was no this dollar character does not exist on our keyboards. So mostly this character is used for the end of the frame delimiter. But right now, but with the advantage, with the advancement of communication, these particular all the special characters are also used being as a data. So what how do to solve this? So but to solve this particular problem, we introduce something called a escape character. Okay, so what this escape character do? If your problem, keep in mind, there is a rule. Every time there is a rule. The first rule was, if there is a dollar and this dollar is a part of the data. Okay, so at the sender side, what this sender will do, it will introduce the escape character, and it will uh, introduce an escape character in front of the dollar, and it will transmit to the receiver. Okay, so now when a receiver receives the data, it will, when it is passing through the data, it will see that there is a dollar followed by a that there is a escape character followed by a dollar. Now the receiver will understand that this particular dollar is a part of the data, because the escape character is in front of it. It means that it is saying that you should escape this dollar because it is a part of the data, and it just deletes this escape and consider this dollar as a part of the data. And if there is another dollar and which is not proceeded by a escape sign, then it will assume that this is your delimiter. Okay, so now what happens in that case? If there are $2 signs, there are $2 signs, then if you're
तो बोल रही है कि कल सुबह आ जाऊंगी परसों कल क्योंकि फिर बोल रही थी देखती हूँ हाफ डे ले लूंगी कल और फिर पूरा ही कर दूंगी या नहीं भेज रही
okay, so whenever there are $2, okay, so if there is a $2 sign, you have to escape two characters. Okay, so if you're seeing this one as well as this one, because our end of the frame delimiter is also a dollar, so what you do, you introduced one escape character for this dollar, and you introduced one escape character for this particular dollar. Okay, in the similar way, if particularly the data, if the data is something like this, okay, so this is, you suppose this is the data you want to transmit. Okay, so now what happens if you transmit the data as it is to the receiver? The receiver will, what the receiver will do, it will think that because the rule is already set between the sender and receiver, it will think that this escape character is followed by a dollar. It means that this dollar is not this particular dollar is the part of the data, and this escape character will be deleted. Okay, so if you're not doing anything, the rule is set between the sender and the receiver, so the receiver will delete this part, and this particular part will assume as a data. So that is wrong, that I do not want this particular thing. So what I'll do, I'll introduce one escape character for this escape character, and one escape character for this dollar part. Okay, so when it got towards the receiver, it will see that there are two escape characters followed by another escape character, and then there is a dollar. Okay, so what I'll do for this escape character, it will escape from one part, that will be your escape character. It will delete this escape character and assume that this is a part of the data. In a similar way, it will assume it will see this escape character and it will delete this, and it will see that this is a part of the data. Okay, so whatever part you want to be as a part of the data, you will include that many escape character. Okay, suppose you want to say that this is the data. Suppose you want to say that this is your data, this particular thing is your data. So what you do, for this one you have to introduce a escape character, for this one you have to introduce a escape character, for this one as well you have to introduce a escape character, and for this one you have to introduce a escape character, and you write the data that here it is written as it is. Okay, so this will be escape, 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 and then there is a dollar. Okay, so when it is from the sender side, the sender side will prepare the data like this, and when you reach there, the receiver, what will it do? It will understand and see that there are 1 2 3 4 escape character, and then for the first escape character it will go there and delete one escape character. For this particular escape character, this will assume this one as a data and delete it. For this particular escape character, this will assume this one as a data and delete it, and this one as a data and it will delete it. Okay, so don't worry about that particular thing, that how it is getting, that why I am arranging this like this, that the escape characters are written here. Actually, what happens is that, suppose if there you will be thinking that how it knows that I'll tell you about it. Okay, so I think most probably you will be thinking that suppose if this is the pattern, escape dollar, so I'll stuff I'll stuff two escape character, first one for this one and second for this one. Okay, so when the receiver receives is, actually it receives the whole data, so it does not start the deleting of the escape character right away. It just receives the whole data. Okay, so when it receives the whole data, it does not know about the delimiter. Okay, so it is thinking that the delimiter is dollar, and it receives two delimiter. Okay, so when inside a frame, because it does not know the end of the frame, when it receives a dollar, it will again receive another dollar, and it will take the whole data, in which either after, if suppose for this dollar, it will, suppose this data is received in the form of a frame. Okay, so now the problem is, because if you're thinking there will be multiple frames that is received here, but it does not know where is the end of this frame. Okay, so when it receives a escape character, it will start that suppose this is at the starting. Okay, so first of all it will gather the data that is received towards it. Okay, so it start reading the data. When it start reading the data, it will see that first there is a escape character. Now it understand that it means that I have to consider some particular thing as a part of the data. When it receives the escape character, it will particularly go towards the end of it where it will find a particular what you say delimiter. Okay, so suppose it is finding that delimiter. Okay, so it knows for this escape character, this particular thing is not a part of the delimiter. Actually, it is a data. So it is deletes this particular thing and assumes this is a part of the data. For this particular this escape character, it will again move towards towards the end of it, and it will find that there is a dollar, and it will move towards the left of it to find if there is another thing that I have to consider as a part of the data. Okay, so before this dollar, it will whatever it is written. So this is the rule that is set between the sender and receiver. So before this dollar, whatever is written, it will assume that it is also a part of the data, and it will delete this one. Okay, so again, if there now and then it will again go towards at the end, and it will find the delimiter. Okay, so there are if you are thinking about this, there are many complexity also exist in this. Okay, so the first complexity will be that how the particular sender and receiver will know that that where to actually stop. That is it a escape character. I think I will also assume that it is also escape character. So there are many complexity in this particular character stuffing part. So that is why we do not use this particular thing, because first of all we have to stuff the byte, that is 8 bits into the data. That is again a very what do I say, it is a wastage of space. Why do I? Because if you see that if I embed the escape, so here there are 1 2 3 4 characters that I want to be at a part of the data, and I have to stuff 1 2 3 4 escape characters into this data. So if you think this 4 character means 4 into 8, that is 32 bits that I have to add extra to this particular thing. Okay, so there is a wastage of space and wastage of time, and there are many added complexity to this particular technique. Okay, so that is why this is not very widely used, the byte stuffing or a character stuffing. But the next part, this is also example of it. Don't worry about this flag header. Don't worry about this part right now. Okay, so just focus on this part. Okay, so this is the part of IPv4 header. I will tell you about it. Don't worry about it's there. So just what I am telling you, just understand this part. You will understand everything. Okay, so for this escape character, you added another escape character, and this is from the sender side. Okay, so when you are at the sender, you will see this is escape character, and this escape character I want to this is a part of the data. So for this escape character, I added another escape character to 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 say to the receiver that this is a particular part of the data. Okay, so I'll transmit this particular packet is transmitted to the receiver side. Huh? Now this particular thing is the whole packet as it is will receive to the receiver, and whatever what the receiver do is it takes this escape character, because it knows this is escape, so it will delete this escape character and it will assume this one as a data part. Okay, so again keep in mind that this particular thing it is from the network layer. This is from the network layer, and this is going to the data link layer, and the data link layer this is going towards a very particular process called a framing process. Okay, so framing the framing part is adding one thing to it. The framing most specifically something called byte stuffing. Okay, so the byte stuffing process is adding escape when it is present at the data link layer, and this particular data is prepared. Okay, so I can say it that this is the output of byte stuffing, and this output is transmitted. It means that it is transported to the receiver. Okay, so the receiver receives the overall frame as it is. So this is frame received to the receiver, so that is why I'm adding a receiver here. It receives the frame as it is, and it just it just do the again the calculation, the framing, the byte stuffing, and remove the escape character, and it just transfer the data to again the network layer, then then transport layer, then the further. Okay, don't worry about that part. You just understand this is only the communication from the data link layer to the data link layer. Okay. So now there is another process called a bit stuffing process. Now then this bit stuffing process, understand this, that there is something called end of the frame delimiter. Okay. So keep in mind the end of the frame delimiter will always be given to you. Okay. So what exactly is the end of the frame delimiter? It will be always be given to you to understand that how to figure out that where is the end of the frame. Okay. So now there understand this was a very unique problem that you will be thinking that this is the end of the frame delimiter, this one and this one, and the data is very similar. So this is end of the frame delimiter and the data is also same to the end of the frame delimiter, that is 0 1 1 1 1. Okay. So again I have to set the rule between the sender and receiver so that they understand what exactly is the end of the frame delimiter or what exactly is the data. So that is the main problem that exists between them. Okay. So what I do, uh, I do, because I already know, I will already tell my receiver that this is my end of the frame delimiter. Okay. So I already tell it. So this particular thing is uniquely identified. Don't worry about it. Now what happens is when this particular unique pattern is a part of the data, then I have to do something to break this pattern. Okay. So because the end of the frame delimiter is equal to the data, so I have to do something so they both will become not equal to each other. Okay. So to break, so first of all, just you have to understand the pattern. Okay. So the pattern here is 0 followed by 1 2 3 4 ones. Okay. So the 0 followed by 4 ones. Okay. So to break this particular pattern, what I can do, either I can write here, I can either okay, I cannot do anything here. Either I can add a 0 here, either I can add a 0 here, or I can add a 0 here, or I can add a 0 here. Okay. So what with this what will happen? So if this happens that if I add a 0 here, particularly this part, now it will become 0 1 0 and then it is followed by 3 ones. Okay. So now understand the pattern, 0 followed by 3 ones. So 0 followed by 3 ones, this particular for 0 followed by 4 ones, 0 followed by 4 ones, this particular pattern is broken here. Okay. So now you can also add a 0 here, you can also add a 0 here, but I'll add my, in most cases you will find I will add my particular 0 at the end of it. Okay, so I'll tell you what is the reason for this one. So to break the pattern, I will always add 0 here. Okay. So here 0. Okay. So now the pattern is 0 followed by 4 ones. Okay. So now the data becomes 0 followed by 3 ones. Okay. So the pattern here is totally broken. Okay. So you can add a 0 here, you can add a 0 here, the pattern will be broken there as well, but there is a very good reason for me that I am adding a particular 0 before the ending of the pattern. Okay. So why did I add it? Don't worry about it right now. I will tell you just after doing this bit stuffing. So suppose that just assume that I always stuff. Okay, because it is a stuffing. So I always stuff a bit that to break the pattern from the end delimiter and the end of at the end of it. Okay. So now, if you see that the end of the frame delimiter and the data is similar, so what I'll do, I'll introduce here one extra 0 to break this pattern. Okay, so now the data is not equal to the end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so see, sender stuffs a bit to break the pattern here, appends a 0 in the data like 0 followed by 3 ones and then there is a 0. Okay, so there is a specific reason that why I'm introducing a 0 here, not here, not here. Okay, so I'll tell you about it. Just wait a second. Okay, now the receiver receives a frame. Now what is the rule? When the receiver receives the frame, it will see that what is the end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so when it sees the end of the frame delimiter is 0 followed by 4 ones. Okay, 0 followed by 4 ones. It knows that the end of the frame delimiter is 0 followed by 4 ones. Okay, so when it receives a data like 0 followed by 3 ones. Okay, so just listen very carefully. When it receives the data like 0 followed by 3 ones, it knows that after that there is a 0 and then there is a 1. Okay, so when it receives this data something like this, it will the receiver will know that the sender has added this extra 0 to break the pattern, because the end of the frame delimiter is very close to the data here received. So the sender must have added this 0 to break the pattern. Okay, so what does the receiver do? It just delete this particular 0 and assume this particular bit pattern as in the form of a data. Okay, so now the problem will be what happens is the actual data that you want to transmit is actually this, that 0 followed by 3 ones, and then there is a 0 and then there is a 1. Now if you transmit it directly to the receiver, what will happen? The receiver will get 0 1 1 1 0 1. Okay, so when the receiver part, it will get this particular bit pattern and it will see that what exactly is the end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so end of the frame delimiter is 0 followed by 1 2 3 4 ones. Okay, so now it sees to break the pattern the sender must have added this 0 to break this pattern. And what the receiver will do, it will again delete this particular part and it will assume this as a part of the data. So that is wrong, because I do not want this, because actually this is the actual data. I do not want this to delete anything by the sender. So this is again a very big problem that arises by following this particular rule that I'm telling you about. So what I'll do, just wait a second. So what I'll do in order to again in order to get rid of the same particularly that the same problem, what I'll do when now this is the again the problem of the sender. Okay, so because the receiver because there is something mutual that is mutually understand by the sender and the receiver, that when you send me three zeros, because my end of the frame delimiter is like 0 followed by four ones. When you send me 0 followed by 3 ones, whatever is coming after the 3 ones, I will delete it. Okay, so that is the, what do I say, that is the contract between the sender and receiver. What is the contract? That because the end of the frame delimiter is 0 followed by 4 ones, the the 0 followed by 4 ones, the contract between them is that what when you send me anything where 0 followed by 3 ones, whatever is written after that I will delete it. Okay, either it is a 0, either it is a 1, I don't care. Whatever you send me, I will delete it. Okay, so that is the contract between the sender and the receiver. Okay, so now this contract is aligning to a problem that what happens that when the data is actually 0 followed by a 3 ones. Okay, so now what the sender will do, sender will now see 0 followed by 3 ones, and because it knows that the receiver will delete whatever is following after 3 ones, so it will add an extra 0. It will add extra 0 towards it, and it sends this particular piece to a sender. Okay, so when it goes to the sender will see 0 followed by 3 ones. So it does not see anything what exactly is after that. It will just delete it. Whatever it is either 0, either 1, it does not care about it. If it is 0 followed by a 3 ones, it will actually delete this one and it will assume whatever is there as a part of the data. Okay, so again, to understand this, there are various examples that I've given to you in the previous lecture. Okay, so see this particular example, this one. Okay, so this one, that the end of the frame delimiter is 0 1 2 3 4 5, 0 followed by 5 ones. This is your end of the frame delimiter. So now actually what happens, if this is the part of the data, I I will add a 0 here. Okay, so the sender prepares the data in such a way that 0 followed by 4 ones, and it will add a 0 at the end of it. Okay, so when it adds a 0, now the contract between the sender and receiver is what when the 0, because the end of the frame delimiter is 0 followed by 5 ones, and the contract between the sender and receiver will be in such a way that when the 0 is followed by a 4 ones, when the 0 is followed by a 4 ones, whatever is written after that, it will be deleted. Okay, so it is deleted like right here. And what happens now, again the problem is what happens if this particular thing, that this particular thing becomes the data. Okay, so if this particular things becomes a data, again you have to add a extra 0 here. Okay, so that is the solution of it. Okay, so why this is widely used than byte stuffing, because if you're thinking here, we are only adding one bit, not a byte of streams, but not a byte stream or 1 byte. We are just adding one bit. Okay, so that does not uh, waste a large amount of space, and it just 1 bit, it's just 1 or 0, so it requires a very minimum amount of time to do bit stuffing rather than to do a byte stuffing. So that is why this particular thing is widely used. Okay, so now understand this particular thing, that this is a very good example of a bit stuffing here. So again, if you are doing something, I assume that you should do it properly. Okay, so for this particular, there are some questions that are also uh, if you are preparing for other competitive exams like GATE or NET, or for Cisco certification also. In there, I'm only taking these question from the previous exam. Okay, so this particular question has come in the Cisco certification that I'm talking here. Okay, so this particular, there is end of the frame delimiter is given to you, and the data is given to you like this one. Okay, so I'll just again, to understand this one, what exactly will be the data after the bit stuffing. Okay, so now see, 0 followed by 1 2 3 4 ones. Okay, so you have to break the pattern by adding a 0 here. Okay, so by adding a 0 here, again if the end of the frame delimiter can also be something different, I'm just assuming this one. Okay, so it can be different. Okay, so now when you are preparing the data, you will see that whenever there is a 0 followed by 3 ones, you add a 0 to it. Okay, so 0 followed by 3 ones, you add a 0 to it, and there is nothing here. 0 followed by again a 3 ones here, you again add a 0 to it. Okay, so it is what you got after the bit stuffing. Okay, so the rule is very simple. Again, understand this one. Okay, so now you will be thinking, why did I add here to break the pattern? Okay, so why didn't I added? I can also add a 0 here, the pattern can also be broken. Then I can also add a 0 here, the pattern can also be broken. Then that is a very, I am not saying that is wrong. You can add a pattern 0 here as well. You can add a 0 here as well. That is fine. But what happens is that if you add, suppose if you add a 0 here, don't worry about this part. If you add a 0 here, you have to stuff more. You have to stuff more. Why? Because you think 0 1. Okay, so the pattern becomes when 0 followed by 1 1 only 1 1, you have to add a 0 here. Okay, so now 0 followed by 1 1, you have to add a 0 here. 0 followed by 1 1, you have to add a 0 here. In this particular case, this is not happening. Suppose the it goes like this one. The problem was 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 0 1. Okay, so now see, 0 followed by 1 1, you have to add a 0. 0 followed by 1 1, you have to add a 0 here. 0 followed by 1 1, you have to add a 0 here. 0 followed by 1 1, you have to add a 0 here. 0 followed by 1 1, you have to add a 0 here. If I to break the pattern, if I add a 0 here, I have to add a 0 here as well. But if you add a 0 here, that 0 followed by 3 ones, then you add a 0, then you do not actually have to stuff anything. If you see that if I follow the rule that 0 followed by 3 ones, then you have to add a 0, then actually I do not have to stuff anything, because 0 is not followed by 3 1s in any of the example here. Okay, so this example 0 is not followed by 3 1s. It means that it is not a part of the end of the frame delimiter. Okay, so that is why I have added this 0 to break the pattern at the end, because I have to stuff less and less. Because if I add a 0 here, the pattern matching will become considerably large. There will be more instances of 0 followed by a 1 1 rather than the instances 0 followed by 3 1s. So that is why I have added a 0 here, added a 0 here to break the pattern rather than added a 0 here. If you add a 0 here, you have to do more bit stuffing. If you add a 0 here, there will be less bit stuffing, and there will be less calculation at the receiver side as well. Okay. Okay, so I hope you understand this particular thing. This framing, I think I have done it in quite a bit of the detail, because it is not uh, given in module 3 or module 2. So you also have to understand what exactly happens at framing, to understand how exactly the standards like IEEE 802.3 are set. Okay, so that is a very important part of understanding how these standards that are already defined for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and for other things for LAN communications are set here. So that is why I've taken a little bit of time to give you a quite detailed tour about this. Okay, so if you still don't understand it, first you go through the video lecture again. I'm again recording, so the lecture I will upload it by the end of the week. Okay, so the lectures are already recorded and it will be there in the chat. In case you are not added here, added in this group, just let me know, I will add it. In case if you are not able to access the video lecture, just let me know, I will again add the particular person to the group, or I will share a individual link. So if nobody is able to access, okay, keep that in mind. Revise this, because we are just starting computer networks, and if you understand the starting concept, it will be very easy for you to understand the coming concept. Okay, so most of the concept, because we are doing communication, okay, so because we are doing transmission communication, there are many concept that that are very interrelated to each other. Okay, so framing, so if you understand what exactly is framing, I will also go in deep when I come to IPv4, that how exactly a frame is being made, and what exactly is the header, and what exactly the where the source and destination things are stored, that a particular frame will receive to a particular destination. I've told you just I told you in a way that you will understand it very easily. I'm not going in a bit of a detail, because we are just starting here. Okay, so the example of bit stuffing is the same example that I told you in the form of so here again, from the data link layer, you go at the data link layer side. When you do a bit stuffing, you will see there. Here it's the end of the frame delimiter is not given here. So this is just an example to understand it. Okay. So here we have done a bit stuffing. Here we have done a bit stuffing, and then it is going to be received to the receiver. And where at the receiver side, it all the things will be unstuffed. It means it will be this particular added things will be deleted. Okay. So now this is a particular example for it to understand. So I think I've given you 4 or 5 examples. So this is your 6th example to understand the bit stuffing more clearly. Okay, so uh, it will be very easy for you to if you try to do this yourself, and if you solve more and more example. Okay, so if I have given you 6 example, you can further go on the net and search for example to get a better understanding. Okay, so now we are at the data link layer. Okay, so I have to again go to the PPT. Now this particular PPT is already uploaded there. Well, let me see what part is remaining. I think I'll just let you go in a bit of in just 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so physical layer I already told you about it. I will the devices that are used in physical layer, I'll talk about that in the next lecture. And this is the data link layer. Framing I have done it. Physical addressing, I'll explain you what is physical addressing right now. And flow control, error control, this is a part of the syllabus, don't worry about that part. Okay, so network layer, there are also some parts of it. Okay, so understand, I'll only okay, so I think you can move on to the next lecture. Okay, so this is a, I'll also take a little bit of time, so the topic will be in between, so you can move on to the next lecture. Okay.